Today's role-playing guide is dedicated to the masters of just being magical, the Sorcerer. Welcome to the Attic Dungeon. My name is Sam. Whether your mum's a dragon or your dad's a god, I'm here to help you with everything. Yes, Sorcerer roleplay, very exciting stuff. But first, I am here to, of course, thank you for watching my stuff, to spreading the good word about the Attic Dungeon to all of your friends and family, as you have done without any doubt, and to thank you for clicking the like button, the subscribe button, the little bell next to it, spreading the joy that is the Attic Dungeon. Enough tomfoolery, let's talk about sorcerers. What is a sorcerer? What is the quintessential sorcerer? Is a person who for some reason can do magic. And that's, in a nutshell, all there is to it. It's not like a wizard, you have not learned magic, or like a bard, they also learn magic. It's not like a warlock, you haven't made any fishy deals to gain power, you're not a cleric who prays or a paladin who swears oaths. You're just magical. Wow, amazing. Whether your magic comes from a dragon, a celestial, some weird clockwork dimension, shadow, chaos, nobody cares, you're magical and you should embrace it. And that's what and there goes me English, and that's what we are doing today. We are looking at how you can flesh out that sorcerer roleplay, which should be a lot of fun. As per usual, my dear people, I'm going to start with giving you some things to think about when creating a normal traditional sorcerer, and then I'm here as always to toss out some weird concepts for you to get to work with or to improve upon, as I'm sure you always do. We start, of course, with the traditional sorcerer. I'm going to get the basic questions out of the way. I always say this with spellcasters, so I want to be done with it first. Think about what your spells look like. If you are a draconic sorcerer, maybe some of your spells kind of invoke dragons, fly, just project dragon wings on you. Burning hands is a dragon's breath coming from a head projected by your hand. Cure wounds might be the soft warmth of a dragon hugging you with wings. I don't know, dragony stuff involved. If you are, however, a wild sorcerer, your magic just might be swirling energy of very different colors every time. Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue. If you are one of those, is it clockwork sorcerers, like the order sorcerers? Then obviously there's going to be a lot of gears and mechanical stuff included in your magic. There is so much stuff to do. Shadow sorcerer, pretty obviously, magic is going to look shady. All of the sorcerer subclasses have so very different origins that it allows you to shape your magic in a completely different way every time you play your sorcerer. So there's that. Now we got that out of the way. Obviously, as a sorcerer, you want to think about how you got your magic. I've mentioned quite a few already. You could be related to a dragon, to a celestial, or even a god. You can just be a freak of nature, getting magic for some reason. You might have a link to a clockwork dimension, a shadow dimension. I can't remember what the other sorcerer subclasses are. We'll have to work with those 5 for now. You can also kind of think about how active that link is. If one of your forebears is a dragon, is this dragon still alive? Are you looking for it? Is this one of your plot hooks? You're looking for the magical being in your family? So you can be just a distant relation of a long magical line, no problem. That works as well. Then you have this entire important or at least powerful family roaming about that you are related to. Or if the magical forebear is still alive, they can be a very interesting plot hook for quest lines as well. Since you're a sorcerer and you were born with magic, you could also ask the question on how hard the magic is to control. That doesn't mean you have to spontaneously cast fireball on everything, a wild sorcerer, but it can be part of your role-playing. Are you struggling with your magic? Yes, then role-play that. Maybe You don't want to enter into densely populated areas because, 2 years ago you blew up half a village, whoopsie doopsie. And by learning to control your magic through whatever quests you're doing, your character might regain some confidence in themselves. And they're like, but Sam, sorcerers are charisma-based class. Why would I want to stay outside of the village? Because it's roleplay, damn it. You might be good at interacting with your party. Heck, in safe environments you might be awesome, but you're just scared of people. On the other hand, maybe if you are from that long line of powerful magicians, maybe they have learned to control your magic and you've got a decently firm grasp on it, but some of the higher spells might still be very challenging to you. Speaking of higher spells, how do you discover new spells? I think this is always a tricky thing with classes. I've not talked about it, but I think for the sorcerer it's even more important because there's no external factor. How could you roleplay that you have discovered a new spell? We'll stick with Fireball. That's a simple example. You can take Firebolt as a cantrip, and then at level 5 you can say, I think I can channel this fire magic much better now. I want to try something bigger and just blast everything away. Maybe if you're the draconic sorcerer and you've learned fly, you're channeling the spirit of a dragon and it's teaching you how to fly. I'm not saying that you should only take spells that make sense for your sorcerer's origins. I'm saying that it could be fun if you're casting a new spell for the first time to kind of narrate how your character is coming up with this specific new type of magic at the moment. And to be honest, I think that is most of what there is to a sorcerer. You've got no weapons to look at, no armor to speak of, so your looks can be anything as long as it's not armored. But since you're a free spirit that is just magical, you can come from pretty much anywhere, which is a nice given, but it doesn't give me a lot to talk about. So let's move on to our special sorcerers. So there's quite a few sorcerers like, look, another subclass, the Storm Sorcerer, who specify, look, maybe you were just born during a violent storm or what or that, but maybe somebody actively experimented on you, or you actively experimented on yourself in the hope of gaining greater power or something else, and that failed. So the Sorcerer are a perfect freak science accident character. Whether you got captured by a crazy artificer and they experimented on you until you escaped, I'm not role-playing Wolverine at all at this point. Or you were experimenting on yourself and turned yourself into a magical creature, which might have been your goal all along. Those are really fun ways of incorporating science in your sorcery. So obviously you'll still be magical, but in my head I'm now just replaying a lot of superhero movies. That might not be ideal. What could also be fun? I've done this before, I think, but you could also be the literal lab rat. And the artificer or whatever magical conjurer was experimenting you, and as a result you turn into whatever race you are and you gain magical powers, and now you have to find your way in the world. I know I've done this before, I just can't remember which class, but those type of characters are a lot of fun to play as long as you don't make them obnoxious. Don't run headfirst into any bit of dangerous area that you see, but it's kind of fun to do your first interaction, the first pub visit, the first weird love crush, whatever. So you can be a science freak, the experiment of a science freak, or the literal lab rat, have some scientific background, and then depending on what the scientist is, those are your powers now. And again, your relation to the scientist might be different as well. If it's you that are the scientists, that is the scientist, my English is really bad today. Maybe your way of leveling up is that you're looking for more components to enhance your power. You're really just on a power trip here. Probably not lovely good. So you're looking for more components to juice up your powers, and that's where your spells are coming from, and your magic is going to be related to whatever element or whatever you infused yourself with. If you were the science experiment, it kind of depends. Were you helping this person? Did they capture you? That will differ between you've got a person that you will like and that might be able to help you out, or a nice bad guy for you to hunt down and want to kill. all fun. If you're a lab rat, you might not even know who your creator is, and you're just happy going around in the world being the most charming lab rat there is. Oh yes, next one. I've based this one on the picture that is in, I think, Tasha's Cauldron. Has an entire bit about reflavoring your magic, and they have this wonderful image of, I think, a halfling sorcerer peasant launching magic missile, and the missiles are chickens, and I absolutely adore that. So I was thinking, okay, but how could you easily incorporate a farmer sorcerer? Okay, sure, you could be a long lost heir to a magic line or whatever, but that's not fun, that's too easy. So here I was thinking that somewhere in your DM's world there might be a hidden village where only magical people live. The sorcerers are everywhere. The farmer is a sorcerer, the mayor is a sorcerer, the blacksmith is a sorcerer, and their magic obviously always looks or fits their profession in some way. Is it because they got a profession and then molded the magic, or do they get certain magic which then predestines them for a certain job? I don't know, that's for you to figure out. But I like the idea of some hidden village, maybe again linked to one of the magical origins. Maybe a dragon is guarding it, or they're guarding a dragon and they get magic from that. Maybe some celestial is watching over this village. Maybe something weird happened in the world, some reality blip, and suddenly there's just a village full of magical people who might be exploding spontaneously now and then, so whoopsie doopsie. Maybe they live on the border of the Shadowfell and magic is just creeping into their village, and whoops, now we're all shadow sorcerers. That's just how I see complete commoners with no relation to anything magical still be great sorcerers. And then it's quite possible that your chap is out questing because magic is disappearing from the village and you're looking for a way to restore it. Or maybe the dragon that has been guarding your village is in danger, or maybe it's an evil dragon and you're trying to run away from the dragon and find people to slay it, thus making your village non-magical for the future generations, but free. So there's a lot of stuff to do with the peasant from the magical village, as I call it. And I really want to play this because cows and chickens, man, that's really everything I got here. Next one is very simple. It might sound a bit warlocky, but it's not. But somebody just gave you magic as a gift. It might be on purpose, it might be an accident. Your weird aunt gave you a special amulet and next morning you could shoot lasers out of your fingertip. Damn it, Aunt Marge, I tell you not to do that. Maybe you just bought something at a market that looked funny and now you're magic. Maybe some old person was being very cryptic to you and telling you about, oh, I'm going to give you the greatest gift, but he didn't really give you anything. But then during your sleep, they're standing next to your room, infusing you with magic, and suddenly you're all magic and probably have difficulties controlling it. So you're going on an adventure to learn how to work with this magic. You're looking for other spellcasters to learn you control and focus, maybe new spells. You're looking for your new place in the world because obviously accounting and bookkeeping is out of the questions now that you can summon familiars who actually do the bookkeeping. All because somebody just slipped you some magic like it were a roofie. Damn them. Okay, and the last one that I got for today is I think that fits the sorcerer better than any other class, like the prophesized person. There is this ancient story about some, let's say, halfling, because I like halflings, who is going to deliver us from great evil, and he will be born with magical powers in a village that is otherwise completely normal, and you are that halfling. You were born in the most simplest city, like a medium-sized town, you know. There's an inn, there's a blacksmith, farmers on the outside. You're doing errand jobs inside the city or assisting your parents in their grocery store, and suddenly you become magical. And you might learn of this prophecy. Maybe when the magic is juiced into you, the prophecy is also given to you. Maybe the prophecy is a nice plot hook again, and you have to go look for the prophecy for somebody who can help you understand it. Maybe there's party members who can help you do that. but it gives you a certain destiny. Now obviously check this one with your dungeon master beforehand, because you are inserting bits and pieces of story, and a prophecy is not just bits and pieces of story, it is a solid bit of story that you're just implementing on your own. So check with your dungeon master that they are okay with helping you fulfill your prophecy. Well, I think that's most of my sorcerer's business done for today. As always, let me know in the comments down below how you are playing your sorcerer. Where did they get their magic? What are they doing with it? How are they learning magic? Do they even like having magic? I don't know. All that I do know is that I hope to see you all again in 2 weeks in the Attic Dungeon.